Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radha Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radha Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan 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 Radha Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radha Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radha Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radha Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radha Jaya Radha Gandharvika Giridhari Radhe Jaya Radha Gandharvika Giridhari Radhe Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, 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 Hari Bol. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Nityananda Trayodashi Maha Mahotsav ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Guru and Sri Gauranga Hari Hari Bol. Today is a very, very important, probably the most auspicious day in our calendar, which is the appearance day of Nityananda Prabhu. Well, we know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most munificent incarnation. But then if you want to get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and if you want to get the mercy of Srimati Radharani, through whom you can get the blessings and the ultimate spiritual perfection from Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we certainly need the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Without the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, we cannot attain spiritual perfection. So that can give us an idea how fortunate we all are to be in this parampara of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, if we were not in this parampara, we would have never known about Nityananda Prabhu, right? So I'll just say the Guru prayers and then we'll start with a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Om Shri Padaya Krishna Kristaya Guru Krishna Deva Krishna Padaya Krishna Kristaya Krishna Kristaya Krishna Deva Saraswati Devi Gaurava Charya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishna Krishna Gaur Krishna Brahmi Devaya Krishna Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in the Adi Leela 5th chapter of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the glories of Lord Nityananda Prabhu is described. And the verse which I am going to read now with just one repetition, it is a verse which is giving us the qualifications of Nityananda Prabhu and an introduction as to who Nityananda, Lord Nityananda is. But these glorifications and qualities of Nityananda Prabhu is the Aishwarya Gyan. But we will see during the course of the discussion as to what really we should follow from Lord Nityananda. Yeah. Sankarshana Karanato Yasayi Garbhodasayi Chapayobdisayi Shesha cha yasyamsha kalasa nitya nandakya rama sharanam mamastu. May Sri Nityananda Rama be the object of my constant remembrance. Shankarshana, Sheshanag, and the Vishnus who lie in the Karana ocean, Garbha ocean, and the ocean of milk are his plenary portions and the portions of his plenary portions. Short purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Swarup Damodar Goswami has recorded this verse in his diary to offer his respectful obeisances to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. This verse also appears as the seventh of the first 14 verses of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So like we said, in this sloka, the very unlimited nature of the potencies of Nityananda Prabhu is mentioned. Lord Nityananda Prabhu's first expansion, we all know that Lord Nityananda Prabhu is Balaram. Balaram is the first expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, Ishvaraha, Paramaha Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. So he expands first as Mahavishnu, or rather Shankarshan, and the Chatur Vyuha got expanded from that. Vasudeva, Shankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha came from Mahashankarshan. So Vasudeva controls the east direction, Shankarshana controls the direction of the west, Pradyumna the north, and Aniruddha the south. So the expansions of Lord Balaram or Lord Nityananda controls all the directions of the universe. So the residence of Nityananda is his Vaikuntha Loka, which is far beyond the material universe, as we all know. So then it is also mentioned in this sloka that from Lord Shankarshan, the Karuno Dakshai Vishnu expands. So Karuno Dakshai Vishnu, we know, is the shelter of all the universes. He is the cause of all the universes as well. Then he expands as Garbho Dakshai Vishnu, and from the navel of Garbho Dakshai Vishnu, we know that Brahma, the first being of the universe, came from Garbho Dakshai Vishnu. And then he enters. So how we all understand how Brahma, he was born, he did not have any idea as to why he is the first being and what is the purpose of his life. He comes out from the lotus and then goes back into the lotus and closes his eyes, and then he hears a word called tapas. So he does tapasya, and then through the process of tapasya, he got complete realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That same Brahma, which is the first being in every universe, is an expansion of Nityananda Balaram. So you can imagine the potency of Nityananda Balaram. And then we also know that Kshirodakshai Vishnu comes. So Kshirodakshai Vishnu is expanded as Paramatma within every living entity. And the first five expansions of Nityananda Balaram First we saw is Mahashankarshan, and then Karuno Dakashai Vishnu, Garbo Dakashai Vishnu, Shiro Dakashai Vishnu, and Shesha. Yeah. So the first four are related to the cosmic manifestation of the universe. Yeah. So for a devotee, that's nothing. Um, we don't question that, right? We know that the Lord is completely Adbhuta, is completely wonderful. We don't have doubts about that, and we don't make scientific analysis of that, right? We accept that as it is. Actually, if you see the Bhagavad Gita ended with the ninth chapter, where Krishna gives Arjuna the most confidential knowledge, right? So once that is given, the subject matter of Ananya Bhakti is already discussed. There is nothing more to be discussed. But to increase the pleasure of Arjuna, Krishna explains in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. What does he explain? He explains the opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just to increase the transcendental bliss of Arjuna, right? Then he goes on. Arjuna never wanted, but then he wanted the world to have some proof. So in the 11th chapter, he shows in the Virat Rupa, right? And he was so scared and he was completely bewildered. Arjuna said, please come back to your original form. So the Bhakta is not so much absorbed in analyzing the greatness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He knows that the devotee of the Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead is inconceivable, and he is got so many unlimited qualities and incarnations. We accept that for a fact. So it is the, as we said, the four expansions, five expansions in total. The first four are related to the cosmic manifestation. That is the job of the scientist, to go on endlessly trying to analyze that. Yes, we study that because we are supposed to study every subject matter of Krishna consciousness. But what is important for us is the Shesha. Shesha is the service aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is what is more relevant to us. And that is why Nityananda is the most important part of our spiritual advancement. Lord Nityananda has got unlimited incarnation in transcendental emotion. Yeah, he calls himself as the servant of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he serves as Guru, friend, or servant. Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are identical to Lord Shri Krishna and to Balaram. So here is the inconceivable part where the Lord becomes the servant of the Lord. There is no difference between Krishna and Balaram. The Lord becomes a servant of whom? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here we understand how vast and unlimited Nityananda Balaram is. Lord Vishnu is a plenary portion of Lord Nityananda. He is the source of all the incarnations. Yeah. What is we were singing the Brahma Samhita, second verse of the Brahma Samhita. What was that? Chintamani prakara sadmashu kalpa vriksha lakshavrateshu surabir abhipalayantam lakshmi sahasra sata sambrama sevyamanam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. So the spiritual world is Chintamani or touchstones. Chintamani prakara sadmashu kalpa vriksha. It has got all kinds of desire trees. You go to a gooseberry plant and say, I want Alfonso mangoes, you will get that. Yeah? But then people in Vaikuntha planet have only spiritual desires. Yeah? So they have spiritual desires. That would be fun if we go to Vaikuntha, right? So suddenly they will call Jugal Kishore 1 sitting behind. What are you doing in Golok Dham? You've got a Bhagavatam class which is going to happen in Ayodhya Dham. Go to Ayodhya Dham immediately. And as soon as he desires to go to Ayodhya Dham, there is a Kalpa Vriksha or an airplane coming and saying, Jugal Kishore, come fast. The flight is about to take off. So he gives the Bhagavatam class, comes back for a Bhagavad Gita class. All that happens in a split second. It's full of desire trees. It's inconceivable even to think of it, but we accept it for a fact because the Shastras are saying that. So it has got touchstones, Kalpa Vrikshas, Lakshavdate, Surabhi. If you see the Surabhi cows, the touchstones, and the Kalpa Vrikshas, all are giving fulfilling desires in different forms. There's no difference. The touchstones also, you touch it and all your desires are fulfilled. Kalpa Vriksha, just stand before the Kalpa Vriksha tree and then desire for something, it gets fulfilled. Then you go to the Surabhi cows and then just pray for anything that you like, and then your prayers are immediately answers. That's the nature of the Vaikuntha planet. And then what else happens? Lakshmi Sahasra Sata Sambrama Sedyamanam. Thousands of goddesses of fortune are doing opulent worship of Lord Vishnu. Yeah? Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So that is the nature of the spiritual world where Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Nityananda, resides here and he controls the Vaikuntha planets and all the Vishnus. That is the inherent, rather, quality of Nityananda Prabhu. And what is missing in Vaikuntha, which is there to be seen in plenty in our material world. There are 5 inherent qualities which are completely missing. Ignorance is missing, misery is missing, egoism is missing, anger is missing, and envy is completely absent. And then, but still, as we said, what is that aspect which we have to catch from the qualities of Nityananda Prabhu and follow in his footsteps so that we attain spiritual perfection? It is that quality of Ananta Sesh. He is the devotee incarnation who doesn't know anything other than to serve Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sheshanag has got thousands of faces. All these faces are completely independent and ready to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead all the time, eternally. So his only objective is to serve Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the Sheshanag has got 2 features, right? What are those true features? One is he is the bearer of the globe. We all know that. Then the second is he acts as a bed for Mahavishnu, right? So that is the greatness of Nityananda Balaram when he comes down as Sheshanag. So the 4 Kumaras are rather as a bedstand for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then what is Ananta Shesh doing? The 4 Kumaras are listening to Srimad Bhagavatam from the lips of Ananta Shesh. He serves as the umbrella of the Lord. He serves as the slipper of the Lord. He serves as the bedding of the Lord. He serves as the pillow. He serves as the garments. He is the resting place, the residence, the sacred thread, and the throne for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, in every paraphernalia that you see, you should be able to see Nityananda Balaram in that paraphernalia of the Lord, because he serves as each and every paraphernalia to serve the Supreme Personality of God, Sri Krishna. So service is the pillar of our spiritual success. We all know this, and everybody who comes always talks about this, that service is the pillar of spiritual success. So in that case, can we become Krishna conscious if we do not have the mercy of the topmost servant, Nityananda Prabhu, right? So, Nityananda Prabhu is like the most magnanimous, and Sri Balaram, as we said, is the first expansion of Krishna, and Balaram is totally non different from Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the Sandhini Shakti of the Lord, or the very existence potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He came before Krishna, and he is the fountainhead of the Guru Tattva. Okay, so we all know that Srila Prabhupada has explained two differences mainly between Sri Krishna and Balaram. One is their complexion. Krishna, as we all know, is got that monsoon cloud color, or the Megha Sham, or the bluish black color. And the Balaram, we know, has got a new spring cloud color, or the white complexion. So there is a difference between their complexions. And then the more important thing is the mood of Sri Krishna and the mood of Balaram. Krishna's mood is that of accepting service, right? And in case of Balaram, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the mood of offering service. Yeah, which is more relevant to us? Offering service. Yeah. So in the Treta Yuga, Nityananda Balaram appeared as Lakshmana. And what did he do? 14 years, when his brother Lord Ramchandra was banished from his kingdom, as a chaste wife, Sita is supposed to go along with him, right? Wherever the husband goes, the wife has to go along with him. But there was no scripture mentioning that the younger brother has to go along with the elder brother when he is banished from the kingdom. Yeah, he could have very well stayed back in Ayodhya, got all the name, fame, opulences, prestige, and power in the absence of his elder brother. But instead, what did Lakshmana opt to do? He had matted hair, he wore tree barks. It was a life of royalty in the palace. He gave up all that for the sake of his elder brother. He was just eating fruits, he was eating nuts, seeds, and he was not even having slippers. Yeah, when we go to Govardhan Hill, and we are told, please don't wear slippers while doing the Govardhan Parikrama. It is such an austerity for all of us. Yeah, at least I can't do it. After some time, somehow or the other, maybe because of aparadh that I have committed, the small stones start pricking me. Yeah. So after some time, my feet is very, very sensitive. So I start running after some time to avoid the heat. Then after that, somebody says, Prabhu, you please wear slippers, otherwise you will not be able to catch up with the others. So they gave me a pair of slippers, and then I wear them and walk the balanced distance. Whereas Balaram was without slippers in a thorny forest. And what was he doing from morning to evening? He was guarding Sita, guarding Ram, and he was preparing, huts for them wherever they went in the forest, thatched huts, and in the night he would guard them. So he was not sleeping for 14 years continuously. So that is the sacrifice that Lakshmana did for his brother. Yeah. So we all know from the Bhagavad Gita that Arjuna's another name which Krishna gave him is Gudakesha. But the Adi Gudakesha is Lakshmana or Nityananda Balaram. So in the Dwapar Yuga, again, Balaram manifests as Vrindavan. The whole of Vrindavan is manifestation of Balaram or Lord Nityananda. So he makes all the arrangements that are required for serving Radha and Krishna in their pastimes. And he used to do fantastic things. When there is a demon coming and chasing Sri Krishna, and he is very close to the Lord, by his unlimited potency, he expands Brindavan so that the distance between the demons and Lord Shri Krishna is increasing. And then he's done with his cowherd boy friends, and it's time. It's a daily routine that Krishna and Balaram, they come to Vasudev and Devaki to their palace in Gokul, and they have a family lunch together. Yeah, so that is a a ritual which was created. So every day they would like to have a family lunch together. So when that happens, he is busy with his friends. He's already getting late for his lunch time. Yeah. So then Balaram again comes in there. So in the earlier occasion when the demons were there, he would expand Vrindavan so that the distance between the demon and Krishna is bigger and bigger. Okay, so that the demon is never able to catch Krishna. In this situation, he contracts Vrindavan, makes Krishna come close to Yashoda Maya, and then she just has to cross a few steps and she is with Yashoda Maya. So this is how Balaram actually in Dwapar Yuga arranges for the pastimes of Krishna and Radharani, and Krishna with the cowherd boyfriends, and Krishna with everybody in Vrindavan. So he basically serves Krishna in all the rasas. As we discussed a little earlier, the shoes, the peacock feather, the flower garlands, the beds, the jewels, the clothes, and all the other paraphernalia is actually an expansion of Nityananda Balaram. So even as we said that he served him in all the rasas, Ananga Manjari is the servant of Radha and Krishna. So even Nityananda Balaram as Ananga Manjari, he serves Sri Krishna as in the Madhurya Ras as well. So we understand that in Vaikunta, everybody has got a four-handed form of Mahavishnu, and the serpent Ananta in the complete Seva Bhav, the beauty of the service, he was serving as bed of Mahavishnu, right? It was a cold and heated bed. Of course, the Lord never feels hot, or Lord never feels cold as well. But during the summertime, Ananta Shesh cools down and makes it a cold bedding. And then when it is winter time, then it's very cold, so it's a heated bedding that Ananta Shesh provides to Mahavishnu. So it's really wonderful to think as to how everywhere in every yuga, the motto of Nityananda Balaram is to serve Krishna, and serve Krishna. Sometimes he serves as an elder brother. The only time that he complained about Sri Krishna, otherwise he was a perfect elder brother, would always cover up for his younger brother. Only once when he saw Krishna having dirt, that's the only time he said, Krishna, this is too much. I am going to complain to Mother Yashoda now, and I am going to tell her that you're having dirt. And we know that wonderful pastime. When Balaram complained, Yashoda was convinced that this guy, so many people have been telling so many things about my little Krishna. I never believed all of them, but Balaram always speaks the. I'm sure that he has had dirt like what Balaram says. Then the wonderful pastime happened of how Krishna opened his mouth, denied that he has ever had dirt, and inside the mouth of Krishna, Yashoda Maya saw all the planetary systems and all the devatas, everybody was inside the mouth of Sri Krishna. And then Mother Yashoda was wondering what's going on here. Maybe some witchcrafty has happened because Yogamaya comes into play. Somebody is playing witchcrafty. I am not a spiritually advanced person, and I do not know how these things are happening. Maybe I had an overdose of antibiotics or something like that, and then I'm hallucinating because of those antibiotics. So it cannot be true, whatever I'm seeing. And then before she gets even an iota of doubt that her son is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, she comes back to her senses and then she's playing with the Lord. So these wonderful pastimes are actually, actually done by Nityananda Balaram. So I was hearing a lecture of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. He describes Nityananda Balaram in a very nice way. He says he is the Servitor Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he acts as a servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, though there is no difference between him and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 6 questions that was asked to the sages, the very first answer to the question of what is the ultimate purpose of human life, what was the answer given by Suta Goswami to the sages of Naimisharanya? Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yatho Bhaktir Adoksaje Ahaituki Apratiyata Yayatma Suprasidati. Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo. The supreme responsibility if you are born as a human being, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yatho Bhaktir Adoksaje, to give transcendental service, or rather to provide service to the supreme transcendental person, Sri Krishna, supreme transcendental person. Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yatho Bhaktir Adoksaje, to the supreme transcendental person. In what mood? Ahaituki Apratiyata Yayatma Suprasidati. So ahaituki, without any expectation of any return, and apratihata, 24/7. That is the standard given by Suta Goswami to the sages of Naimisharanya. Nityananda Balaram fitted the bill. He was an eternal servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he served him not just in one yuga, but he served him in all the yugas. So it is a perfect standard set by Nityananda Balaram, which we all have to follow with attention, right? Because we should always see the scriptures from the point of view of what is in it for us, meaning how that scripture and that personality helps us in our spiritual life. So Nityananda Balaram stands for service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We all know that Nityananda Balaram is the perfect servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appeared in Eka Chakra 12 or 13 years before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the residents of Eka Chakra actually loved Nityananda more than their own children. This is something which is again inconceivable. Yeah, any parent would love their children the most, right? But in this case, Nityananda was a person with inconceivable beauty, and he would be loved by the residents of Ekachakra more than their own children. So he would play various pastimes. He would jump on somebody and says that you are Putana, I'm going to kill you now. Yeah, he would do those kind of pastimes. And then he would act like a cowherd boy, or he would act like Lakshmana. But this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Where were the cowherd boys? They were in Vrindavan. And where was Lakshmana? He was in Treta Yuga. Where was Putana? Putana was again in one of the greatest demons in Vrindavan. So people used to get bewildered. How do you know all these pastimes being such a young boy? And then Balaram, Nityananda Balaram would answer, well, they're all my pastimes. They would take it like, okay, this boy is joking, he is not serious. And then again, Yoga Maya would cover them up. Yeah. So, because they were all in Shuddha Bhakti, so you cannot allow the Aishwarya Bhav to come in between. They were all in complete Shuddha Bhakti. So, he was, he was waiting for the arrival of his Lordship, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He had to wait for 12 or 13 years. And then we hear this wonderful... So Nityananda Prabhu was the son of Hadai Pandit and Padmavati. They were the parents, Hadai Pandit and Padmavati. And then a sannyasi once visited the home of Hadai Pandit and Padmavati, and he got so attracted to Nityananda Prabhu. He said, I want your son with me to come and I'll take him on parikrama. So, the father, Hadai Pandit, was so disappointed. He says, no, you cannot do that. I will come with you as your servant. Spare my son for the residents of Ekachakra. But the sannyasi was very, very adamant. So he said that, look, you have to follow. You said that you will give me any Guru Dakshina I ask for. I'm not asking for wealth. I'm not asking for any property. Nothing at all. Just send your son with me. He will be safe in my association. So therefore, Nityananda Prabhu, his pastimes really started at that time, where he traveled with this sannyasi from Badrika Ashram, was at Kanyakumari in the south to Badrika Ashram in the north. And then he actually traveled the length and breadth of the country from Pandharpur in the west to Puri in the east. So he traveled all the directions of the country, spreading his mercy everywhere. And then we know that he met Madhavendra Puri and finally came to Vrindavan. And then in Vrindavan, when he heard that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is about to appear, he started dancing in ecstasy, calling out to the names of the Lord, and that place is still called as Shringar Vat or Nityananda Vat. Yeah, by the banks of the Jamuna. He started jumping into the Yamuna in ecstasy, calling out to Krishna's holy name. So one day, the famous pastime has to be covered when we discuss Nityananda Prabhu. So one day Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas, we should all have buddies in our Krishna consciousness. Yeah. So Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas were the buddies in their Krishna consciousness, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu calls them and gives them an instruction that your job is to knock at every door and make everybody chant and preach Krishna consciousness to the whole world. So very strictly Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, they went to every house, knocked on the door, begged and fell at their feet to chant and tell them to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Can you imagine how renounced he was? Here is the creator of Brahma going like a beggar to every door, knocking the door and requesting and begging everybody, please chant the names of the Lord. He was not just perfected in renunciation, he was perfected in the art of tolerance and forgiveness, right? As devotees, we must also develop these qualities, yeah? Many times the tolerance levels goes down completely. We are unwilling to forgive other devotees for some mistakes they made. So here is the embodiment of tolerance, forgiveness, and renunciation. Nityananda Balaram demonstrating to us and begging at every door and asking them, please chant Hare Krishna. So while this preaching was going on, they had a lot of difficulties. Finally, when it really crossed all limits, is when they met Jagai and Madai. They are Jagadananda Pandit and Madhavananda Pandit. They were actually pious Brahmanas, but due to bad association that they had, they started eating flesh of animals. They would have blood all over. They would actually drink the blood of people, kill the babies there, completely in an intoxicated state all the time. And then they would have illicit sex at will, spoil the sacrificial fire. That's the one thing that all demons do. When they see sacrifices being done, they see danger for themselves. That is the power of the sacrifice by a pure Brahmana. So they would throw all kinds of dirty stuff into the sacrificial fire, where the effect of this sacrifice will be completely finished. So Jaga and Madai would do that. The moment he saw these people, none of us will ever think of preaching. I've seen it happening in Kazakhstan actually. They used to go on Nagar Sankirtan, and they are fishermen whom they were preaching to. They would have two fishes, big ones on either hands, and then the devotees would go on Nagar Sankirtan and they would say, open your mouth, and they would put a laddu prasadam. I mean, it really touched my heart when I saw the devotees doing that, because it's not just the fish in both the hands, they would be really dirtily clad. They are fishermen, lower than Shudras. You can imagine how they would be. But these devotees would say, open your mouth, and they would put laddu prasadam in their mouth. And then we used to have manufacturing of prasadam in various factories. There are a lot of kirana merchants, small time merchants. They used to distribute prasadam to all these people, where liquor is sold, where cigarettes are sold, but Krishna prasadam is also sold. Look at the motivation the devotees get from Nityananda Prabhu. So when Jagai and Madai were doing what they were doing, immediately Nityananda Prabhu pointed out to these two boys, two men, the dirty men, that they have to be given the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what was the logic of saying that? Only if these two become devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will people recognize that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the ultimate deliverer of the fallen souls. But the behavior was so bad that Haridas kind of objected. He said, this is too much. You have become like a madman. How can you preach to these people? Then Nityananda Prabhu said, look, when you were beaten up in 22 marketplaces by the Mughal rulers, You told that you have to pray for the people who are beating you. So, therefore, you have to agree to my request to preach to Jagai and Madai. So, here we know the principle from the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says in the 9th chapter, 30th verse, what does he say? Apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhag sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hisa. So, what does that mean? Duracharo. Even if you have committed abominable activities, but somehow or the other you have done pious activities in the past, Krishna tells Arjuna, Sadhu Reva Samantavya. You have to be considered as a sadhu. Yeah? Samyak Vyavasito Isa. And very quickly you are situated appropriately in your spiritual life. Of course, this was an extreme, sort of extension of that rule. But Nityananda Prabhu, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the speaker of Bhagavad Gita as Sri Krishna, he followed that, verse which he had himself mentioned to Arjuna. And then in the very next verse, what's the meaning of that verse? Shipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat shantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. So if you have done any pious activity in the past, or if you have ever chanted the holy names of Krishna, then name bhaktiya pranashyati. It's a motivational verse for all of us, isn't it? There at least one thing we can be sure of, and that is we are at least blessed to become human beings and continue our incomplete spiritual activity till such time we go back home, back to God. So then we all know the story of how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard about this. He was completely upset and he comes down to the scene, and we knew that there was a broken liquor pot which they were carrying. How dare you ask me to chant? Who are you to order me to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra? So here you go, he flings the broken pot and Nityananda Prabhu starts bleeding. And immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gets so upset. He says, I'm going to take my Sudarshan Chakra out now and I'm going to fling it and sever the head of Jagai and Madai. I think it was when Nityananda Prabhu protected Jagai and Madai and begs at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please do not do that. It was first Jagai whose heart melted, and he went and told Madai, please do not do this, do not continue this fight anymore. You have broken his head and given an injury to him, but still he is speaking for you and glorifying you with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So finally the matter is settled, and at the request of Nityananda Prabhu, that's the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, Madai falls at the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, asks for pardon, and Jagai also falls at the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, asks for pardon, and they become perfected devotees in their balance of life. And then Jagai and Madai say that, look, we have done a lot of Vaishnava aparadh, we have done a lot of Nam aparadh, so please excuse us for all these offenses. Nityananda Prabhu says, there is no Vaishnava aparadh because you never accepted Vaishnavism. You were never in the association of Vaishnavas. You never chanted God's holy name. So there is no Nam aparadh as well. So let's not take that option. No Nam. I'll not chant, so no Nam aparadh. I'll not, serve Vaishnavas, so there is no Vaishnava aparadh. Not that way. So that was the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. So it's only with the mercy of Lord Nityananda you can enter the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. Because the entire Vrindavan is the manifestation of Nityananda Prabhu. Right? So, yeah. So basically, Srila Prabhupada advises all of us in his purports that we should not, sort of see the analytical and logistic uh, facts of the case, because we will never be able to understand the inconceivable potency of Nityananda Prabhu, and accept the words of authority. It's not blind faith, but accepting the words of authority. And let's remember the words of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami in the Madhya Leela of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which says, Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ata Eva Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakale Ashanta. So, any other pursuit, only a Krishna Bhakta who is Nishkama or without any material desires, he is always in a state of Ata Eva Shanta. And then any other pursuit, Bhukti, which means seeking material enjoyment always. The Jnanis, yeah, well, they are on the transcendental platform, one may say, but still, what is their pursuit? They pursue liberation. And the yogis, they always want to do some magic tricks, yeah, and show off their perfection in the siddhis that they are pursuing. So they also seek material opulence. So any of these pursuits of bhukti, mukti, and siddhi, which is pursued by the yogis, never gives us happiness. Only Krishna Bhakta, Nishkama, Ataeva, Shanta. And that you can become a Krishna Bhakta only when you have the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Yeah? What's the Bhagavad Gita verse from the 5th chapter? Ehi Samparshaja Bhoga Dukkha Yonaya Evate Adi Antavanta Kaunteya Na Teshu Ramate Buddha. Yeah? So whenever we are with the contact of the senses and we seek any kind of sense gratification, dukkha yonaya evate, you are sowing the seeds of dukkha. And this, even if there is some pleasure, which there may be, there is a adi antavanta kaunteya. There is a beginning and there is an end. Yeah? Na teshu ramate buddha. The intelligent Buddhivan does not delight in these small pleasures, and he focuses on spiritual advancement. And on this very, very important day of Nityananda Trayodashi, let us beg for the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu that we are able to chant with attention the Maha Mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Let us all chant with attention and follow in the footsteps of Nityananda Prabhu to be in a service mood always. Yeah, Bangalore is setting a new standard of preaching and service. We are led by three great brahmacharis in the city of Bangalore, and the preaching is going on in such a wonderful way. So therefore, we will always get the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. But let us do this service in a very humble state of mind. Uh, Look at the level of renunciation that Nityananda Prabhu had, and follow in the footsteps of Nityananda Prabhu and attain spiritual perfection. Hare Krishna.
Question answers, Prabhuji.
When there are no questions, either you understood everything or you understood nothing. If the second option is there, then I am to blame. Yes, bro.
Thank you so much to narrated the passing of Nathan Prabhu and at a Tattva level, covering all the expansions and across yugas. So thank you for that. Truly, you were mentioning about preaching in Kazakhstan and how Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur as buddies, they were going out to unfavorable places. So can you share experience of preaching in Kazakhstan? Does it have you encountered any jagai mithai over there?
Oh, yeah. These devotees in Kazakhstan preach so wonderfully there. So the accommodation provided to me and my wife was about a 15 minutes brisk walk. So during Mangalarti, we have to walk from residence to the temple. So it's like 4:10 in the morning. If we start walking at 4:10, then we can reach at 4:30 or 5 minutes before Mangalarti starts. So we were taking the shortest possible route, and there was one person who was completely drunk, and he was like in tattered clothes, dirty clothes, and my wife got a little scared. She said, "Let's take another route." I said, "He's too drunk to harm us. So let's go quickly, otherwise we'll miss Mangalarti." When we approach that person, look at the effectiveness of the preaching. The man was completely swaggering from one side to the other, somehow got control of himself, folded his hands, and he said, "Hare Krishna." I mean, so even the Jagais and Madais have started chanting Hare Krishna everywhere in the world, and people express so much fear. How can you convert the whole world into being Krishna conscious? How can you do this? We cannot preach like that to everyone. Even in India, forget about other countries which are alien to our culture. But it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prediction that Krishna's name will spread in every town and village. We expect it to happen in our lifetime. But we have 9,500 years more to go. Krishna's name will certainly be chanted all over the world because it's God's prediction. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Hare Krishna. So, first of all, I would like to thank His Grace Kishore Prabhuji for so only and subtly making us go through the journey right from the spiritual world to the cosmic manifestation of Lord Vishnu, Mahaprabhu Vishnu, and then bringing it to God Leela. And now, before and after, before how much of the Nityananda Prabhu you knew and after Prabhuji's lecture, how much of Nityananda Prabhu you know? Raise hand before lecture, how many you knew in detail? And after lecture, what does that show, Prabhuji? That you have to come again and again to explain more about further acharyas. Hare Krishna. So I think we are very, very blessed to have Prabhuji here in Bangalore. And only our limitation is that how much we can absorb these wonderful kathas, right? So let's one time loudly chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity you have given me. I don't remember the verse now, but from the Srimad Bhagavatam, whenever there is a class going on, there are three beneficiaries. The society has large benefits from this class and this celebration. The second beneficiary is the audience, but the greatest beneficiary is the speaker. So, by the mercy of all the devotees present here, I become the biggest beneficiary of today's program. So, I really thank all of you a lot for giving me your association. And ACS layout was the first that I got the association when we shifted to Bangalore. So I shall remain ever indebted to Harikshetra Prabhu. And at that time, Achyuta Arjun Saka was a brahmachari. Now he's an advanced devotee. And then we did a program, I remember, with Prabhu. My wife arranged a program in one of the communities here, and there is a thriving Krishna conscious set of devotees. So I'm quite indebted to this center in particular. So thank you all very much, and keep remembering Nityananda Prabhu and his pastimes, and we are sure to attain perfection in our spiritual life. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So, some more important announcements to make. First and foremost, when you see around 100 plus devotees here together, if I am not mistaken, in this small hall. So every time when we organize and we look to invite these devotees here, we never ever discuss that इस hall में इतने लोग आएंगे क्या? Material world में discuss करते हैं. What our senior Vaishnavas has told me that probably let them come, it will automatically expand. And that's what's happening around as I see. So it cannot happen without the wonderful volunteers who in the background, even though with their working days and everything, they do a lot of seva in different areas. So without naming any portfolios, without calling any names, because I will do injustice, let's loudly chant for them also one time. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. So again, every time I think we talk about offering yoga to the Lord, immediately we see a lot of Prabhuji and Mataji is keen to actually offer. Now, the beauty of this offering is that they want to offer, but they are chanting 2 rounds, they are chanting 4 rounds. And the precondition is they should chant 16 rounds. Since we are the devotees following the parampara of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so we are in that parampara, we are a bit merciful to say, okay, that every day you are not able to chant. That day when you are offering, you should chant 16 rounds at least. And then what happens? Devotees do 16 rounds of chanting and come to offer Bhoga Prabhu. And after that, their number of rounds increase only. Such is the mercy of God Nityananda. So with that, you know how many Bhoga offering we have for today? 102. One time Hare Krishna Mahamantra for all those wonderful souls. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. we have again we'll be having Aarti and after that Prasadam. But today the Prasadam is sponsored in the memory of the body Nilakanta Prabhuji on his 11th death anniversary. This Prasadam is sponsored by Gopi Prabhu, who is the son of Prabhuji, who passed away. So let's one time chant Hare Krishna mantra for them as well. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gopi Prabhuji is regularly attending all the Bhakti Viksha sessions. So thank you, Gopi Prabhuji. Also, Prabhuji was wonderfully talking about Nityananda. Prabhuji is what is servitor, Supreme Personality of Godhead, as told by His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj. So there is a service opportunity. What is that? Of course, as we said, devotees are merciful. Once you have wonderful prasadam, पेट भर जाएगा, एकदम full हो जाएगा. उसका नीचे आके थोड़ा सा wind up करना है. So not winding up the company and all, we have to just wind up the mats here. So any volunteers from Prabhuji Mataji's side would be helpful. What we need to do is wind up the mat and mop up the floor here, and that's all. Right, Prabhuji? That's it. So any volunteers, please raise hand. I don't want everybody. All right, thank you. So Lord Nityananda has taken a note. Snapshot over here. Hare Krishna. So with that, we will move on to yes. So one more announcement is there that we have this wonderful Goloka Kids initiative which started 1 year back, and it started with summer camp, and a lot of parents started showing interest to get their kids engaged because they wanted that Vedic culture to be imbibed in their kids, and it has become a huge success. A lot of Matajis and Prabhujis have been leading that, and the result of that is that we have completed 1 year of Goloka Kids in different age groups. So we are going to have annual function on coming Sunday, that is 25th of Feb, and all of you are heartily invited to encourage these wonderful souls who are actually going to become leader for tomorrow for ISKCON and Krishna conscious movement. आपको यहाँ आके participate नहीं करना है, encourage करना है, कर सकते हैं? So we'll be looking forward to your participation. And time check. What time it is, Prabhuji? 11:30? 10:15. So after Bhagavatam class on Sunday, you can attend Bhagavatam class also, by the way. And then it starts at around 9:30. 9 o'clock Guru Puja, 9:30 is Bhagavatam class, 10:15 is this Sunday Bhagavatam class is none other than His Divine Grace Shla Prabhupada ki Jai. And after that we'll have Goloka Kids at 10:15. So please be there. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So with that we will move on to Aarti, and after that Prasadam. Thank you. So once again, let's one time chant Hare Krishna mantra for all of us. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hariva, 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 Nitai Gaur Hariva.
हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की श्रीला प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की निताय गौर So quick announcement on prasadam. There is prasadam only getting served upstairs.